I appreciate the support, by the way. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. I just don't want the queue to inflate out of control. You 5-0 this league? Maybe. This hand's pretty decent, right? I'm gonna keep this for sure. I think... So here's a question. Do I lead on Inkmoth and hope to just rip the shoal? Or do I set up on cantrips to try and kill them on 3? I have to rebuild the Legacy version, Maester, because Gitaxian Probe's been banned. I think I'm supposed to cantrip. No setup, this is no justice stream. I think I'm supposed to cantrip. I'm gonna any order shuffle these, I think. Although Impulse digs pretty deep. I'm gonna any order shuffle these. Most of our deck is cantrips. Pact could actually be useful here. I'm gonna bottom the Preordain, take the Pact, play the Inkmoth. Sounds good, side flop. I'll be taking a look at messages after I wrap up, as always. My article should be live on Gathering Magic now. I forget what time they actually post. It should be close. It should be up very soon. Should be up very soon on Gathering Magic. Basic Plains, could be Death and Taxes, could be Miracles, could be some other random brew. Confirm Death and Taxes. I mean, we're obviously an Infect deck. Gosh, this game is tough, chat. Can we talk about how hard Magic the Gathering is? Stoneforge Mystic! I feel like there's a really strong... With the donation queue freeze, are you banking on the more rigorous rejection stopping it from ballooning when it opened up again? I am going to reject some of the more terrible decks that I was accepting in the past when I open it back up, but I'm not expecting it to not balloon. There's just, like, you know, there's only one of me, there's only so many hours in the week. I expect that freezing the queue on occasion is something I'm probably going to have to do every, I don't know, let's say probably 3 to 4 months. I expect to have to freeze the queue for a few weeks to a month. Yeah, probably like, we'll probably do like, it'll probably gonna end up being like 2 to 3 months, freeze for a month, 2 to 3 months, freeze for a month. I did make changes. I've cut the Spell Pierces, and I added copies of 3 Dazes and a Sleight of Hand. I didn't say I was gonna stop all of the terrible ones. It is, and the goal is that I want it to be cheap because I want people to be able to send in sweet things. I'm not gonna start rejecting all of the sweet things. I'm just going to, like, stop rejecting the things that we owe 3 with and are just completely uninteresting. Daze over Pact makes sense. I like that. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think I leave 1 Blazing Shoal in. Was playing Modern at my local game store, and turn 1 step links, and opponent goes, so you watch, Hoagland? Thanks for the 2-month subscription, stumped you. Yeah, someone else said that Liliana the Veil locks up Magic Online now, too. really annoying. Show and Telling in Progenitus is actually very good in this matchup. They can't take it off the table, sans a copy of Council's Judgment. This hand just needs a Show and Tell. The blue-green polymorph? Yeah, the blue-green polymorph's a deck that we can play on occasion. That deck 3-2'd and 4-1 pretty consistently. Basically, when I said I'm going to be more strict, I'm basically not going to take Narset Cannon and Modern Belcher every week like people had been submitting. Because, like, while those decks are interesting, like, getting beaten up with them every week is less interesting. I think I'm just going to force pitching Force here. It's a little medium for me. I'm going to put these two back, crack this fetch land. Maybe I just put both Inkmoths back. I'm just going to put both Inkmoth back for now. Prioritize fetching basics. Yeah, a happy fire emote seems like the best idea for it. I need to talk to my graphics guy. I think I just go bottom here. We're just like looking for show and tell aggressively, right? Another force isn't terrible. Recruiter's fine. Yeah, I'll have to message my graphics guy today because we bumped into 1,800 sub points, so we have an emote slot again. Thank you everyone for the absurd support, by the way. I genuinely never thought that Magic could have this many subscribers. Like, when I expect that I'd always try streaming full-time at some point, but I definitely expected it to be like, I don't know, like 1,000 sub points would be the ceiling or something like that. I don't know what exactly I was expecting, but it definitely wasn't this, which is wonderful. Is this put back Tarn plus Force of Will here? And then, like, crack, fetch, and ponder? I think it's put back Tarn Force and then crack, fetch, and ponder. Blame Anoronyx. Well, while Anoronyx does provide absurd amounts of support, he's not responsible for the sub points, so. Oh, that's some ponders are hard. Other ponders are not hard. Yeah, it's funny. So, like, I used to, like, kind of worry about people that would give me and tell me that, like, my stuff wasn't worth watching or that I was going to fail because of the things that I did. And then it's just like, well, I have this wonderful sub point number now that I can just, like, take a peek at that when people say things in that regards. I'm just like, nah, there's a bunch of people that like me. I have to be doing something, right? Thanks, Red Mulligan. Well, this is quite great. My article just went up, sweet. So you should be able to find it here. So we're forcing the crap out of this Thalia, right? We're gonna force pitch Brainstorm, and then we'll just like pig. I guess if they have an Aethersworn Canonist to drop in, that could be bad for us. Don't care about that one. They also might not know where a show and tell deck at this point. Started watching a week ago and I'm addicted. I do my best. Either you're doing that or you're doing something wrong enough and it's funny. That's fair, actually. That's fair. No Canonist, no Thalia. No Canonist, no Thalia, and they should die here. I guess Flicker Wisp could potentially mean they don't die. That's unfortunate. Alright, so I'm supposed to Brainstorm in response here, right? Do we get a double Cunning Wish and kill them? So this will blink out. And then I have Daze plus Force, because the Omniscience is going to come back during our end step, so I can cast Daze and Force with the Omniscience on their turn. So hopefully they can't do anything, and then we get to grab the Enter the Infinite. I wish you could moderate the internet. So I had been wanting to leave comments open on my ranting videos, but I actually turned them off on the one yesterday because there were just too many hateful people, and my life is too short to deal with that. Recruiter Resolves. Did I stack the Brainstorm backwards? I think I stacked it right, but I always stack Brainstorms backwards, so I might have stacked it. If we stack the Brainstorm backwards, we might be dead. Fuck, I hope I didn't stack it backwards. You're great to watch. Zach Attack, thanks for the 2-month free subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Now I'm worried. Now I'm worried. I think I might have stacked it backwards. You had me concerned. You had me concerned. I was real. I thought I remember being careful, but I couldn't remember. That's great, Sad. Is opponent conceding? So if the opponent doesn't concede here, we put back Progenitus, and then we have Cunning Wish, and we Cunning Wish for our copies of Searing Wind and kill them. So Searing Wind serves two purposes in this deck. When you're on the Blazing Shoal Infect plan, it pitches to Blazing Shoal to deal lethal Infect. And when you're on the Cunning Wish plan, when you're on the Show and Tell plan, you just go Searing Wind you, you're dead. This deck is sweet. This deck is very sweet. So we're only going to play one league with it today. We played another league with it yesterday, though, and we played a league with it last week as well. So youtube.com/Jeff Logan, you can always find tons of my content there. I've been streaming Magic for 30-plus hours a week for a couple of months now, and I streamed 15 to 20 hours a week before that. So there is probably weeks or months worth of content up there at this point. When do you board into the Show and Tell plan? I'm pretty confident we're supposed to turn into a Show and Tell deck against everything that's fair. So your unfair strategy with Infect is faster against other linear decks. So I think against other linear decks, I want to stay on the Blighted Agent plan. But against like Death and Taxes and Delver decks and Miracles, I think those are the decks you want to board into the Show and Tells against. What split decisions do? Hey, we had a brand new sub there. Dan Halen, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime. There's a lot of people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine. No, that's a good point. The fetch lands in this deck, you just need 6 to 7 blue fetches. So there aren't any duels in this deck. The only basics are islands. So the only thing you need to play this deck is 7 fetch lands. So they could be deltas, they could be flooded strands, they could be misties, they could be scalding tarns. If you are technically, actually, from a pure technical standpoint, the fetches in this deck aren't optimal right now. Optimal fetches for this deck should be split 2-2-1 to play around things like Pithing Needle and Sorcerous Spyglass. So the fact that I have 4 Misty Rainforest technically isn't even optimal. Frozen Kraken with that brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate it. So you should look at the deck list, Koff. There's a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat. I think you'll understand what the deck is doing after you look at it. It's not 2 sideboard slots. Please be informed. Yeah, exactly, Sad. So the correct split is 2 of 3 blue fetches and then 1 of the 4th. Is if you're being 100% technically optimal. Land. Yay! And then next turn, we get to kill them with Daze and Pact of Negation up. This list is actually really cheap. To buy it with no budget considerations is less than $1,000, which is absurdly cheap for Legacy. And like 400 of that is paying for 400 of those dollars is buying Force of Wills. And while Force of Wills are definitely optimal, you could almost certainly budget those two if you really needed to. You could play more Dazes, you could play some Spell Pierces. Sure, if you bargain hunt, you can always get things for cheaper. Is Misdirection cheaper? You could play Misdirection too. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do to make it even cheaper than that. Who's ready to die? You ready to blaze it, chat? You ready to blaze it? Easy game, easy life. Easy game, easy life. I got you, that nerd. I got you. Enjoy your break. Scalding Tarns are completely optional. Again, the fetch lands in this deck, you just need 7 blue fetches. You could probably even get away with 5 or 6 blue fetches, but your Brainstorms and your Ponders get worse with less fetch lands. So I would recommend 6 or 7 fetches like we have here, but they can be any combination of 7 blue fetches to still be optimal. Mostly optimal. God, these new card backs are killing me, chat. They're literally killing me. Yeah, Flooded Strands and Deltas are good enough. I agree with that. All right, so we're boarding into this plan. What am I doing here? I feel like I should trim Pact of Negation in this matchup because there's going to be times where I want to show and tell Progenitus into play, and when I'm show and telling Progenitus into play, I can't Pact of Negation them because I'll die to my Pact the next turn. Not getting the card the turn you play your cantrip's a big deal, Dakyo. You want your card the turn you play it. I'm gonna trim 1 Pact and 1 Impulse. Trim 1 Pact and 1 Impulse. Let's do that. Rug Delver felt okay. I think I would probably play it with Tarmogoyf after playing the Hooting Mandrills version. Caleb Durward streamed Rug Delver last night, and his build had Thought Scour in it, and that seemed very good. So his VODs are mostly or partially muted because of his music, but you should be able to open them up and get his deck list. Well, welcome, gamer. The amount of pushback from people when the message is be a decent person, it's like, y'all need some self-reflection if you have this much hostility towards the message, be a better person. Dead Guy Ale is Black White Stoneblade. It's the legacy name for Black White Stoneblade. Cunning Wish. Cunning Wish is the reason for the split. Please read Cunning Wish. Yeah, I just realized I forgot to update the title, so I just did that. Okay, I mean, this hand was a little bit medium if I'm being honest, but it's hard to pass up hands that have lands and spells. I also, one of the really... It really is Dimir Spy. It really was. I definitely removed some people from my life that didn't need to be there. You know what they say about people that play Scrublands, Sidar? It's the same thing they say about people that play Badlands. They're really plateauing their legacy career. I apologize to anyone that joke just physically hurt. I'm gonna have to hear me say it several more times today. Thanks for checking out Honey, folks. I do appreciate it. I'm unsubbing. All right, I'm gonna play Brainstorm here. The painter video is uploading, but I don't publish them until I finish for the day, because I have to like format the videos, the descriptions and stuff. So it won't be live until I'm done streaming today. Can I you actually can multi-sub. There are different sub tier levels that you can up. Honey is a free browser extension. Thanks for checking it out, Honey out, Brosader, speaking of. And what Honey does is when you're shopping online, Honey checks your shopping cart before you check out, and it looks on the internet for coupon codes to save you money on the stuff that you planned on buying anyways. Jaw, you'll want to refresh your browser page, and it'll give you a chance to send a message with your resub. At any rate, thank you for the continued support, and welcome back. I think I'm going to crack this fetch and response here, because this way if they want to stifle me, they're going to lose their fetch land. So they're playing Temur Delvers, so you want to be conscious of their stifles. You don't have to do anything. Yep, it just sits in your browser. If you look in your list of browser extensions, it'll be activated. If you're on Chrome, sometimes it puts an icon up top. But it just doesn't do anything unless it can save you money. So if it can't save you money, it just doesn't do anything. And when it can, it says, hey, I've got codes for you to save money with. Thundering Bumpkin, thanks for checking out, honey. I mean, is the tempo loss that bad? If that fetch land doesn't resolve, I'm like redrawing crappy cards off the top of my deck. Like that I don't want to draw. I agree that I have plenty of lands, but like I'm not dazing that because I really need the land. I'm dazing that because I don't want to redraw the 2 cards I just brainstormed back to the top. That's why I'm dazing. Does that make sense? So like I agree that the land isn't meaningful, but I think shuffling my deck is meaningful there. I really don't like the frame of the invocations. Rainy Day, thanks for checking out, honey. And even if you don't shop online that often, if you enjoy supporting my content here, I do get a kickback if you install Honey via that link. And Honey doesn't do anything bad with your information. It's completely non-obtrusive, so it's just a free, easy way to support what I do here. This is just cantrip for cantrip, right? I already have plenty of lands, and I already have a thing to show and tell into play. I figured it out. Love the stream. You're the reason I stopped paying for cable TV. Well, I appreciate the support, Jaw. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for the continued support. Thanks for checking out Honey K. Mueller. I thought Jeff was calling people honey. Not quite, not quite. I intentionally didn't play my land here because if they want to spell pierce this, I'm okay with them spell piercing this. I'd rather they don't spell pierce my show and tells. Although maybe I should have played the land before this one, because if this one gets dazed, I'm going to be a little annoyed. D-Contest, thanks for checking out, honey. I led with the Ponder before the Preordain because there's a non-zero chance that Ponder shuffles, and I don't want to Preordain, put cards I don't want on the bottom of my deck, and then shuffle with Ponder and shuffle those cards I didn't want back into my deck. So I want to potentially shuffle before I scry to the bottom. David, thanks for checking out, honey. So we have a slow setup here, but it might be okay because their clock is slow enough. I get to Cunning Wish for Intuition and then Intuition for Show and Tell, which is like not the fastest thing in the world, but it's a line. I think I'm going to take this Preordain here and then crack my fetch land before I cast it. I'd ideally like to just find a Show and Tell naturally. I'm going to go bottom this, top the Impulse. We'll Impulse at their end step. We're dead in 5 currently, but there's a good chance my opponent has a non-zero amount of Lightning Bolts in post board, so I'm probably going to want to think of myself as dead in 4 here. So I'm dropping to 10. I'm going to go ahead and cast this Impulse. It's also possible I should have taken the Ponder because making their Dazes live is potentially bad. I kind of have enough mana that I can make Dazes not be live. Red Mulligan, thanks for checking out, honey. And Force of Will is a decent pickup here. It means if we find a Show and Tell, we're more likely to push it through, right? That being said, like the mono counterspell Daze deck is like sitting on 5 cards. There's a pretty decent chance they have 2 pieces of interaction here. Our window to finding our show and tell is definitely closing. The question here is, if I manage to find it with this, do I actually cast it this turn? Easy dubs bottom. The old Inkmoth Nexus. Well, I appreciate you just already using Honey Mr. Tasty. I don't think the uninstall and reinstall does anything, but I appreciate the thoughts. I'm glad people, my wife was actually already using Honey when they approached me about advertising for them, so it was just like an easy ad. And thank you, I just missed one that added it. Red Mulligan and Poor People Entertainment. Thanks for the support. Oh, jumping with Inkmoth's not a bad idea. I actually can't jump and wish because the Inkmoth is going to be summoning sick. But I think I am going to go ahead and jump block here. Oh, did it? Sweet Tinny. This also makes their guy a 2/2, which gives me extra turns on my clock as well. So, like, now this thing is killing me slower. Oh, no. Yay! Killing me softly. Do. Fred Shred, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. And there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. So, here's an interesting question. Do I block this? Or do I Cunning Wish, get Blazing Shoal, and then on my next turn, Cunning Wish, get Searing Wind, and then try and kill them? Tino, thanks for checking out Honey. So do I try and block here, or do I try and kill them with Infect damage? I feel like killing them with Infect damage is pretty unlikely. I mean, I have this Force of Will. It's possible I'm supposed to... The problem with going for the win there is that going for the win loses to a Daze if I don't draw a land. Like, losing to a Daze seems pretty unappealing. It's possible that I'm just, like, far enough behind that I need to go for it, though. I'm gonna force this because I'm not gonna be able to cast both these forces otherwise. Oh, I do have a few packs in my deck, too. That's true. All right. All right. Dead to anything here. I assume we're dead. Yeah, good game. It's going good, James. Going well. Going well. We're 1-0 in this league with Blazing Shoal Infect. We are heading into game 3 here in the second match. I think I'm gonna hit submit here again. I think I like being on the show and tell plan post board in matches like this, especially when Progenitus is good. The show and tell plan is absurd. Why does Justin look like Happy Gilmore? Is there any merit versus this deck to like straight show and tell or straight infect? Well, budget is definitely a big reason to consider this deck. Ma'am Bakab, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. Welcome. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine. Yeah, I almost certainly would have died if we went for it. Like, they had Force plus Double Bolt. Maybe. What card advantage spell would you want to wish for? Something like Factor Fiction or Glimmer of Genius or something like that? As far as meme quality is concerned, This is definitely the highest meme quality out there. Yeah, Temur Delver's a sweet deck. 1 mana Stone Rain's a heck of a drug. 1 mana Stone Rain is a heck of a drug. Merit to having Flusterstorm? I don't think so. I'm not sure I like that better than Pact of Negation or Force of Will. We played Spell Pierces in the leagues previously and they didn't feel good. And they were like equivalent to like what Flusterstorm would have been most of the time. I think when you're trying to stop people from interacting with you, Flusterstorm or Spell Pierce is generally a little bit better than Flusterstorm. Gosh, this hand is pretty bad. Pretty sure we keep, though, with a Brainstorm and a land. Brainstorm in a dream. Chip in a chair. Turn 1 Delver. Yep, it's going to be a tough game. Just roll on with their lives. I could have flailed around for 5 or 6 turns there, but we're not getting out of that. While we're waiting for the next match to pop, I'd just like to say good morning, afternoon, and good night to everybody wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you're one of the many people out in the world who has Amazon Prime, if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime included with that for free, and that gives you a free channel subscription every single month here on Twitch to a content producer of your choice. You can also support my stuff past subscribing by supporting some of my wonderful sponsors. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards or cash direct with other players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off of the top. Inkgaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff Hoagland, or using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on your custom playmats. God, I totally mushmouthed that. Your purchases of custom playmats, mousepads, binders, and bags there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible without viewers like Anaronix, Justin Nivik, and all of y'all out there. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. I do appreciate it. We're 1-1 with our Blazing Shoal and Tell deck. Heading on into the third match here. Win the die roll. It's pretty good. This hand's pretty terrible. It doesn't have an Infect creature. It doesn't have Blazing Shoal plus a thing like double Progenitus is clunky. Thanks, Indicium. This hand's great. This hand kills them on turn 2. Looking for a Pact of Negation or a Force of Will or a Daze here. This is turn 1 Inkmoth, turn 2 Island, animate Blazing Shoal, kill you. Yeah, put a mulligan really low. I wonder if they're playing Dredge or if they're just unlucky. Oh no! Oh no! We drew the Pact of Negation 2! We drew the Pact of Negation 2, chat! Oh no! How are we ever supposed to beat a Ghost Quarter? That's a tilt. Not a Ghost Quarter strategy. Whoop, whoop. Don't mind if it does. We shall rebuild. We shall be stronger than before. Oh, Squidbillies. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Squidbillies makes sense. Is this a matchup where I want to stay on the Infect plan? It might be, right? Do we have a TKS here? Womp womp. Yeah, unfortunately, Pact much worse than Dazer Force here. Much worse than Dazer Force, obviously. We do get to draw Preordain here and get cantripping. Cantripping. We will reassemble and be stronger than before. Easy dubs bottom. Survey says. Top. Your move, Yugi boy. Thought-Knot Seer and Wasteland both keep them alive here. That's something stupid like a 6-mana Eldrazi. Hey, Brendan, 2000 with that brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Just a poopy smoosher. Are we supposed to turn into the Omnitel deck here, chat? Or do we... I feel like the Omnitel deck is probably good, right? We're doing it. We can beat that one. We unfortunately didn't have the turn 2 kill, but it looks like we're going to have the turn 5 kill. Is the Infect plan good against their Walking Ballistas and Ghost Quarters, though? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the Omniscience plan. I feel like they have far more interaction for my Infect plan than otherwise. And, like, just putting Progenitus into play is pretty likely for us to win games here, I think. Pact of Negation's pretty bad here. Okay, so Pact is pretty bad in this matchup, so I'm actually going to leave one Blighted Agent in. I'm going to, like, waffle and split the difference, because we can actually Cunning Wish for Blazing Shoal still post-board and kill with Blighted Agent. So I'm going to do this. What's going on, Mr. Maple Syrup? We did not play Daze yesterday, so I have cut the Spell Pierces from the deck for today. Made some changes. Cunning Wish is super sweet. How would Manamorphose do in Legacy JAC so doing a probe anymore? Yeah, that might be okay, Slayer. Well, I mean, this hand is great. Watching Davis stream a few weeks ago, and someone subbed, and he got really mad when his chat didn't welcome the new sub and aggressively threatened to block people at... I'm not sure... Yeah, I don't know, BCS. Let's maybe, you know, Jim can do... There's people that don't care for how I manage my stream either, so people can do as they please. We need some lands here, right? Just like cantripping for some lands. Gosh, that's great. I actually want to draw the Force of Will here, right? So that way I can force a Thought-Knot Seer. Or like a Chalice of the Void. Actually, do I just let this go at this point? I know there's land on top of my deck. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this resolve, actually. Ancient Tomb is bad with our Infect game 1 plan, so I don't think I'm interested in that. You could maybe make an argument for Lotus Petal being okay, because Lotus Petal, like, kind of works with our Infect plan, but honestly, I've been pretty happy with this deck and not having that extra acceleration. Against decks that you need to race quickly, the Infect plan is pretty fast. I mean, so they should hopefully be... Maybe I'm supposed to force that in case they have a Trinisphere. But if they had Trinisphere, they probably would play it, right? Like, Trinisphere is the only thing that gets us here. It's possible I should have forced that. Now I'm going to put in Omniscience. Yeah, Trinisphere. The answer to does Trinisphere beat X is always yes, Trinisphere beats X. Good games, opponent. This is... Searing wins you twice. Just good clean living. GG's, opponent. So we're 2-1 now. 2-2, 2-1. Okay. Good clean living, ladies and germs. So our previous leagues with this deck were 4-1 and 3-2. The Dazes actually feel pretty good. A couple of times we've drawn those. They felt like super reasonable. Good honest magic, right? I cut the Spell Pierces. There were 4 Spell Pierces when we played this deck previously. I cut them for 3 Dazes and a Sleight of Hand. So we have 13 1-mana cantrips right now. Want at least one Searing Wind to your Omni sideboard? I mean, this hand's great. We've got basic lands. We got our Blighted Agent. We're looking for a Shoal plus a thing to pitch to it. We got some cantrips to set that up. We have some protection for what we have going on here. This Daze just like looking and feeling good. Probably just shuffling anything that's not one of our 2 combo pieces. Yeah, pretty easy shuffle here. Yay! Roadkill! Coming back for the 8th month with that big tier 3 resub. Thank you for the continued support. I appreciate it. If you'd like to add a new deck to the queue, even though we're in a freeze, tier 3 subs can still add new decks. There's a link to a Google form below the stream now for submitting decks. It's all fancy and stuff. Or if you'd like to bump a deck that's already in the queue, let me know via private message which deck you'd like to bump. So you can do either. Alright, well that was not the other combo piece we're looking for here. But it's actually not the worst because this is a blue card that pitches to Force of Will. So, what are your thoughts on main deck Intuition? I think it's too slow. I think Intuition is probably too slow with our Infect plan. Morning Furious Squirrel. You gonna try and push my Blighted Agent off a cliff? Thought Scour themselves, okay. They're playing Thought Scour in Storm? Is that what they're like testing over? They're testing over something else? Just gonna let this happen. Yeah. That's what Caleb's playing over Probe? Okay. So we get 4 looks at a Blazing Shoal here, 5 looks. So I'm supposed to ponder first, right? Because ponder could find me more cantrips. I could also find me a land to impulse with. I'm gonna any order shuffle here. Pact of Negation, not quite good enough. Hopefully Daze plus Force is gonna be enough to win next turn. Or not die next turn, excuse me. I think I was right to ponder there when we drew it. Because if we hit a land, I get to cast Impulse, or if we hit another 1-mana cantrip, I get to cast that, so like a lot of potential. And this is a matchup where we're not really going to sideboard. We're just going to keep on our game 1 plan here. Because our Infect plan is better against combo decks like this. I think I'm just going to force this. Usually you want to force the Ritual. Because otherwise they're going to get to start casting discard spells. I'm just trying to not die. And now I can Daze whatever the other play here is. Play it 5 shots at a Blazing Shoal here. Play the Inkmoth out here so I can also hit a cantrip. Wow, that's really unfortunate. No cantrip, no shoal. I guess I just take this Daze so we have double Daze. I need to run to the restroom really quick. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty to do. So I'm not going to Daze proactively here because it's free storm count for them. Although the Dazes probably aren't going to do anything here. Yeah, they have plenty of mana. So a little unfortunate that we can never find a Blazing Shoal this game to push through lethal. Had a lot of chances. Zach Attack, thanks for the 100 bits. We can Pact of Negation them, you are not wrong. Rats, they didn't concede. I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure. Maybe we get the Moto win there. I think we're just supposed to stay the course and stay on the Infect plan. You're supposed to do that. Been liking this Shoal Intel deck. As someone who recently sold my Volks, I still wanted to play Omniscience, and I also own Modern Infect and 4 Progenitus from being a GP promo. Yeah, it's been a sweet deck, Iron, for sure. I don't really have anything to board in for the Pact of Negations. Like, if you board the, like, do we think I just don't have time to Cunning Wish? Maybe that's real. I just, like, want these in my deck. Is that a thing? I'll put in like 1 show and tell for this Progenitus. I did not submit soon enough. Maybe that's correct. Maybe I just don't have time to dick around. That hand didn't have any of our combo pieces in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan it. Yeah, I just feel like the subset of games where, like, Lotus Petal is relevant to acceleration is really small. Because our hand is missing so much here, I'm going to lead on Ponder rather than Inkmoth Nexus. Because, like, obviously we can't turn to them without Shoal or a way to start in our hand. Probably Dead Guy Ale. I'm a sucker for a shitty fair deck. I guess this is really bad against Probe Therapy. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I just, like, Lotus Petal isn't really going to make you consistently faster. Like, the variance on games where it's going to actually have a meaningful impact is, like, really low. So we're setting up for a turn 4 kill here. I guess maybe I should have brainstormed on my turn to crack this fetch land. Yeah, that's possible, because I could have hit another cantrip. So we're going to pick up Cunning Wish next turn, and then we can Cunning Wish for Blazing Shoal and then kill them on 4. Yeah, we played Goblins yesterday. I'm gonna let this resolve. Eventually bought into Infect. To set the bar low, it's less bad now that Deathrite Shaman is banned. Okay. Interesting. Am I dead yet? But Jeff, the tier 4 deck you played was the wrong tier 4 deck, Jeff. There's a much better version of the tier 4 deck. It's only tier 4 because they don't play my version of the deck, Jeff. It is amazing how consistently people tell me that. Look, if you think you genuinely broke the tier 4 deck, Go play some tournaments with it. Go put up a bunch of 5-0s or something. You know? Like... The deck's not one of the most popular decks in the format for a reason. The number of times people have actually broken something and it hasn't been discovered are so few and far between. I'd even accept that, like, you know, it's maybe not the best version of Goblins, but you know what? The best version of Goblins probably isn't that much better than what we played. I'm streaming from an Ubuntu 16.04 base system using an Enlightenment desktop. Well, we got 10 turns, chat. We're going to hold on to these lands in case we draw another Brainstorm here. Am I dead yet? We're statistically dead. I'm gonna move on with our lives. See if we can snake the 3-2 again here. You gotta fight for your right to party. Now I don't want to stress anybody in chat out, but there are literally tens of tickets riding on this next match. It's a lot of gambling for playing on the internet. If we win this match, we get $14. If we lose this match, we get nothing. We've just taken our tickets and flushed them down the toilet. So here's hoping that doesn't happen for a second league in a row. It's very expensive to lose legacy leagues. Very expensive. The Dazes have felt good, I think. The Spell Pierces felt awkward. We just, like, never had mana to hold them up. And having another free counterspell feels good. Here's a buck to make up the difference. Thanks, JTD. Does anybody know? Arguably, it is, Holy Diva. This match determines if I get to eat lunch today or not, okay? If I don't win here, I don't get to eat lunch. This match costs more. There's more riding on this match than a burrito bowl, okay? No, I think I'm gonna have to sell treasure chests again. Oh no, actual Infect. Oh no. If we get a large, exactly. Exactly. Am I dead yet? Am I dead yet? Pass priority, yay, you passed priority. Yeah, not only do friendly leagues cost 4 tickets less, but when you 2-3 a friendly league, you get 40 points back, which means it only costs you $4 to have a 40% win rate. Whereas when you 2-3 a legacy league, a competitive league, you get nothing back, which means it costs you $12 to do. It's a hard cast Daze, yep. Probably lead on Brainstorm next turn. Looking for a shoal. Thanks for the bits, Lido. I appreciate it. Does anybody know if treasure chests had their value increased yet? We dead? I think we're dead. I think we died, chat. We died. We died. Blighted Agent could block Frenzied Mage. Blocking their Infect creature is very good, because then it dies. I'm pretty sure we just run back here. Pretty sure anytime we're racing, we just run it back. Thank you for the bits, Tino. Yeah, I mute while I choose so other people don't have to listen to it. Force seems fine here. We have an extra Blighted Agent to pitch to it. My friends and I all live in San Diego, so naturally we decided to go to SCG Vegas because we heard you might be heading out there. People say Vegas is a team open. So there is Modern added, but it is a team open, so it's all 3 formats. You should share my rant wherever you want to share it. Yeah, I learned that sharing that rant is a great way to figure out people that I don't want in my life anymore. Well, I mean, I can't cast crop rotation because I don't have green mana, right? Here's a dime because we're dead. Thanks, Iron. I'm not going to fight over this. I'm just going to let this happen. Which format am I playing in Vegas? Either Modern or Legacy. One or the other. Which of the two I end up playing will probably be determined by how the formats feel then. Vegas is still pretty far off. It's up to the middle of November. Having people oppose me on issues that are important to life, like the well-being of others, like, it's okay to have differing points of view with people and, like, still interact with them. But, like, if my point of view is, like, we should treat everybody equally, and someone's point of view is we should kill everybody whose race is different from mine, that's not a person I want in my life. People that don't think we should treat other people as human beings with respect and decency, those aren't people that I can disagree with and still keep in my life. There are varying degrees to which you can disagree with other people and still maintain a healthy adult relationship with them. And there are things that you can't, and you shouldn't, because you are the people you associate with. Even if you don't feel like you should kill everybody who's a different race than you, if you associate with people that do, you're telling those people that their opinions are fine, and on some level you're okay with them. Thanks for the support, Omnifect. Thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I do appreciate it. Yes, there are some views that are non-negotiable. Like, they like apples and I like potatoes as my side for my lunch. I can get along with them if they prefer fruit and I prefer potatoes. That's not a big deal. So we can technically kill them next turn. We can Cunning Wish for Searing Wind and then Blazing Shoal to kill them. I'm here for this deck only. I'm very much in favor of letting people have their own opinions and thoughts and feelings on things, so long as they don't cause direct harm to other human beings. Don't. If you're interested in harming other people, I'm sorry, you're not entitled to your opinion. Don't be a dick. Should we fetch because of waste plus Daze? Maybe? I don't think that's really relevant. We might win this one. If they have a Daze as their last card in the hand, we could die here. Have I told you Geoff was the better entertainer? Alright, well. We're just gonna hope. We're just gonna hope they don't have a Daze here. They have a Daze. gonna grab Searing Wind here. When Christy and I get merchandise sorted, we're gonna have something like a shirt that says like "Be Decent" or "Be Nice." I think "Be Decent" is a good slogan. We're gonna have a few different designs on things, and I think one of them is going to be a "Be Decent" type thing. You look sick, OP. Are you infected with something? I don't know. I think Legacy is going to have a lot of variation because a lot of people don't have access to expensive Legacy cards. Stream Decker is current. Do I keep this? This is tough, right? I feel like this is a mulligan. It has Infect creatures, but it doesn't have interaction, and it doesn't have a fast kill, right? So I think it just needs too many things. The boot is the 3-month sub icon. We have shovels and boots for the hardworking members of Hoaglandia. I'm going to keep this on the draw with the scry. Ding. Ding. Never didn't have it. Yep, definitely Tino. Also, keep in mind that tier 3 subs and larger donations can still add decks to the queue, because I'm not one to refuse money if people throw it at me. We're just on a temporary hiatus from the $10 donation. Hi, Aaron. Thanks for checking out, honey. Here's Spellcrawler and Legacy sound sweet. You want to read through everything here, including the asterisk at the moment. Look at that. Look at that. So if we don't die on their 3, we're going to be pretty well set up to kill them on our 3. I just followed Jeff Hook. There is an Olympic cyclist with my same name. Maybe. It's hard to know. I feel like a lot of people have expectations for old Legacy decks that just like... I feel like the expectations people have towards decks that Deathrite Shaman was keeping out of the format are a little bit unrealistic. Some of the decks that aren't seeing play weren't not seeing play because of Deathrite Shaman. They just weren't seeing play because they weren't good Magic decks. They just like weren't powerful enough, weren't fast enough, weren't interactive enough for the current format. Like goblins, yep. Like goblins. Nexus was a great draw here because it means when this gets dazed, we can still attempt to kill them next turn. If we get a next turn, there's a good chance we're just dead here. Good chance we're just dead here. All right. We beat a Daze plus one other piece of interaction. No, he hasn't, Sharp. I mean, it looks like we're lucky while we play this deck, but in reality, our deck is just very consistent, right? Because we have so many cantrips. Yay! We got the 3-2 again. Who's the better Infect deck now, opponent? Who's the better Infect deck now? I get to eat lunch! Woo, doggy! All right. Thoughts on that league? I really liked the Dazes. The Spell Pierces were consistently mediocre. Can I tell you about how good it feels to play 10 free counterspells in my combo deck? Can we get you to play Living End so you cycle like the other Jeff? That's funny. I think I like this configuration. Honestly, I wonder if we're supposed to cut an Impulse and play another Sleight of Hand, just because, like, 2 mana cantrips are a lot of mana. It's possible that that could be a reasonable change as well. No, I want Sleight of Hand. I want to see more cards. I really don't care what's in their hand. I just want to find my combo consistently and kill them. Again, if you're looking to build this deck on a bit of a budget, the fetch lands don't matter. You can play any 7 blue fetch lands in this deck. You're only fetching basic islands and you're using it to shuffle Brainstorms. You can budget the Force of Wills. If you are going to budget the Force of Wills to slowly build into them, your deck is going to be worse against combo decks. But if I was going to budget the Force of Wills, I would turn them into 4th Daze, 2nd Sleight of Hand, and then probably 2 Spell Pierces. But the deck will be worse with that. The fetch lands are pretty menial difference, but you could definitely shave, $300 off the top building this deck to start by not building with Force. But Force goes into a lot of Legacy decks. Like, if you're going to be playing Legacy, Forces are a good investment. Yeah, but, like, there's definitely people that, like, you could build this deck and play it, like, at your local game store every week without Forces. So, like,